there's so much more to a student's academic performance than like their ability, like their intellectual prowess or whatever people want to call it. Like, to think that things like poverty or trauma or abuse don't influence a student's ability to achieve is so misguided. We need to treat students as whole people with complex lives and complex parts to themselves. So my name is Tianna. My pronouns are she and they. She, her, they, them both feel really great for me. Currently, I am a master's student at Boise, doing my Master of Arts degree in social justice education, and I'm also a research assistant at the Ryerson Leadership Lab, doing work with education and youth policy. So I remember when I was in the 8th grade and transitioning into high school, you get this piece of paper that your homeroom teacher or a guidance counselor fills out on your behalf. And it's a list of recommendations for what classes you should take, and that includes what stream, whether that's applied, academic, or locally developed. Although they are nothing but recommendations, they're not, mandatory by any means. A lot of folks don't know that. Also, a lot of people trust the opinions of educators to kind of make that decision. And I think there's a real lack of attention paid to the ways that that like discrimination and bias plays into those assignments. The idea that particularly like Black and Indigenous folks are lesser than or like less intellectually, capable. That's like a very persistent stereotype and rooted in white supremacy. I don't know. I don't think I was surprised. I knew I was going to go to the high school that was closest to where I lived at the time, but I just kind of felt defeated. And I come from a working class single parent home, so my mom wasn't going to look over at this paper and not knowing how to navigate the education system wasn't going to advocate on my behalf. And that kind of, I think, brought down my self-esteem and sense of like ability academically. And that played into kind of like my other courses and kind of this general low self-esteem about my academic performance. So by the time I got to high school, I didn't really do much better. And then by like 10th grade, I was still taking all of like applied courses. And then my grade 10 English teacher was like, Tianna, you need to be in academic English. Like, you're a really great writer. You should. And I was like, oh, no. Like, there was no one there to kind of push me, or I was like, how do I even make that switch? Am I allowed to? Like, there was no, very minimal guidance. In fact, as I got closer to graduation, the more steep the decline was in terms of my academic success. I think in grade 11 science, a boy in my class and I got into some argument because he had, some rude things to say. So I retaliated. And he, just like stormed out, punched the science door, and like had this whole explosive episode. And then somehow I got transitioned to a self-paced, locally developed booklet course for science. I think like in my last semester of grade 12, like my grades were so bad, they put me in credit recovery to the point where I was just like volunteering at a local daycare to pass high school. I hadn't seen my peers for literally like 4, 5, 6 months. I don't know, people like went to prom and did all this stuff and were having a great time. And I was like, this means nothing to me. I'm not at all involved. Like, not having a good time. I'd get a few encouraging words from a teacher here and there. But there wasn't really, it's that thing of like when educators set low expectations for a student, you really don't think you can achieve more than that. like the week before graduation, there was this, they had posted for our graduating class, like kind of just this like chart paper in the hall near guidance, and you would write down your name and like where you were going to university or to college or what you wanted to do after. And I had written down something, I forget what I wanted to be, but I remember a teacher approaching me and saying, "You doing that? Huh." I was like, okay, cool. But I figured everyone's doing something, I need to do something. I initially went to college and took an elective, a sociology elective, and I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. Like all of these different theoretical lenses, like I can use to kind of understand my own experience. And then so once I finished my college diploma, I was able to access and get into university. And then from there, I took a sociology of education class, and I was like, oh, wow. Now I'm doing my master's degree, which like never thought ever. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I feel inspired to connect what I've learned through formal education and through institutions of education. I feel inspired to bring that to community. So cheesy, but like, don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. If you want to do something, do it. I think what's brought me through a lot of things is just like spite, and equal parts spite and passion to like prove people wrong, but also like do something I love while I'm proving people wrong has been really motivating.